anytime I use a piece like this, I know from some people, look, yes, he's talking about social democracy. This is not the furthest reaches of radicalism, but that's totally fine. This type of work needs to be done if that word is going to be used, and we're going to decontaminate it, and we're going to get people to think in a mature and humane way about politics. This is a good piece.
You often hear people asking,
has socialism worked anywhere it's been tried?
Name one country that socialism has ever worked.
the answer is everywhere.
Wait, what?
Socialism is pooling our resources together and using them for the common good. And it's been successfully implemented all around the world. That could mean things like publicly funded healthcare. So if you live in Britain and you like the NHS, then guess what? You're a socialist.
Oh, me?
Don't believe me? Look at how they describe publicly funded healthcare in America.
The socialist idea of universal health care.
Britain's socialized medical system, healthcare, all government provided, God forbid, like England.
Do you like publicly funded teachers, police, firefighters, schools, roads, and libraries? Think wealthy corporations like Google and Amazon should actually pay some tax to pay for these things? Well, then you're a massive socialist.
I'm a what?
So next time you hear someone trying to scare you about socialism,
The ugly, destructive, Marxist, militant, socialist.
remember, they're talking about you.
Socialist.
That's a good ad, and I have this, and in in a UK labor context, that is more formally true than it is in the United States. Like, we have significant great social democratic reforms that happened in the New Deal and even the Great Society, including things like that are making your life tolerable today, were passed in the 30s and sort of protected. In the UK, with things like the NHS, they have actually achieved some advancement of decommodifying parts of society and generating much better human outcomes. And part of the evidence, that countervails all of the lies and fear-mongering about the NHS that you hear on Fox is the fact that there was a poll that came out a couple years ago that British people rated the NHS over winning World War II as an accomplishment. Now, obviously, they probably wouldn't have had the NHS if they didn't defeat Hitler, but that should give you some sense of what actual people think of being able to go and see a doctor when they need to see one. And the whole waiting list thing, there's waiting lists here too for non-emergency care, and tens of millions of people get no care, and even people with health insurance go bankrupt all the time. So get real, get socialist.
The wait list thing is such a joke at this point.
I know.
It's when it's clear
That's all
that
they got.
That it's there's just not a list because people just can't afford to it. I can't get on a list to buy a Bugatti, right?
Right. I'm on the Bugatti list. I mean, never tap. Where's my name is finally going to come up on the Phantom list.
There are some problems with the NHS, I'm not going to lie, but all of them have to do with underfunding it as the Labour Party slid into a modern neoliberal party.
Well, the modern cuts, one of the things I have to say that kept Blair and Brown in power for a long time is Tony Blair tried to introduce privatizations, which was a big problem. They actually put huge amounts of money in the NHS, which had been bled under the Tories before them. So even neoliberal third-way labor put a ton of money. And even in 2005, at the height of the Iraq invasion and disgust with them, look, again, I always say communication matters and political skills matter. And even at his least popular, Tony Blair is an effective, very effective campaigning politician. But Gordon Brown had this thing that he said the red lines. The red lines are NHS, and there was one other public spending thing that I don't remember. But NHS was one of their, even at their most right wing, to the point where when David Cameron came to power, he lied. He said the Tories would never cut NHS spending. He actually said that he was trying to actually rhetorically attack labor from the left on the NHS.
That is the power of universal programs right there.
Without a doubt. It's also the power of universal programs that even to this day, there's a new book that's coming out from Zero Books, I think called 10 Steps to Destroy the NHS. It's not that they won't try, but the NHS is still standing, even under the Tory onslaught post-financial crisis. Yes, universal programs are very effective. Yes.